우리가 언어로 소통하기 위해서 말하기, 듣기 두 가지의 기능을 모두 갖춰야 합니다. 일반적으로 어린아이들이 언어, 모국어를 습득할 때는 듣기가 선행한 다음에 말하기를 습득합니다. 그러나 영어를 제2 외국어로서 성인이 습득하기 위해서 말하기를 연습함으로써 듣기를 향상시키는 것이 보다 효과적입니다. 안녕하세요. 매일 점점 나아지는 영어 선샤인 잉글리시입니다. 오늘 저와 함께 정말 왕 기본 위치 전치사를 사용해서 영어 말하기와 듣기의 차이점에 대해서 같이 살펴볼까 합니다. 주입식 교육이 아닌 학습자 중심의 영어 교육 수업을 한번 해보려고 합니다. 그럼 곧바로 시작하겠습니다. We're going to do listening practice first. I'm going to draw some items and speak a sentence indicating the location of each item. I advise you to listen carefully because we're going to use the same picture and you will be the one who is going to make English sentences. All right, let's begin. There is a bed in the middle of the screen. Once again, there is a bed in the middle of the screen. Now let's draw a lamp over here. Then there is a lamp next to the bed on the right. There is a bed next to the bed on the right. When you use the phrase next to, it only indicates that something is beside something. And if you want to give a little more information, you could say on the right or on the left. For example, let's draw a smiley face over here. Then you could say, there is a smiley face next to the bed on the left. Okay? Now, let's draw a puppy or a dog right over here. Now, based on the location of the bed, you could say, there is a dog to the top right of the bed. Once again, there is a dog to the top right of the bed. Now, let's put a hat on the smiley face like this. Then you could say, there is a hat on the smiley face. Now, let's draw a watch right over here. Now, there is a watch between the bed and the dog. There is a watch between the bed and the dog. Now, let's draw a house right over here. There is a house above the smiley face. There is a house above the smiley face. Now let's draw a bee inside the house. Now you could say there is a bee in the house. There is a bee inside the house or in the house. Both work. Now, listening, it wasn't that difficult, right? Good. Now it's your turn. You try to indicate the location of each item by using same or similar words that I used. Are you ready? Let's go. I'll give you 3 seconds. There is a bed in the middle of the screen. Good. Now try this one. There is a lamp next to the bed on the right. Okay, smiley face over here. What will be the sentence? There is a smiley face next to the bed on the left. Now, the next one is a dog, right? Right over here. Do you remember this one? There is a dog to the top right of the bed. Now, let's put a hat on the smiley face like this. Give me a sentence. There is a hat on the smiley face. Now, let's draw a watch over here. There is a watch between the bed and the dog. How about this one? This one is easy, right? There is a house above the smiley face. And the last but not the least, a bee over here. There is a bee in the house. Good job. So what do you think? Is listening easier than speaking, or is speaking easier than listening? I'm guessing that most of you would say listening is much easier than speaking, and there is a reason. Now, let's do listening practice one more time. For this activity, you need pen and paper. So if you don't have it in front of you, please pause the video and get them. So are you ready? This activity is called Draw It. I'm going to describe an item, and you will draw them on the piece of paper that you have in front of you. If you're ready, let's do this. Let's say there's a paper like this. The first item. There is a phone to the top left of the paper. There is a phone to the top left of the paper. You should have drawn a phone right over here. Did you get it? Good job. The next item. There is a pencil to the bottom right of the paper. There is a pencil to the bottom right of the paper. So it should be right over here because it is to the bottom right of the paper. Next one is easy. There is a dinosaur in the middle of the paper. There is a dinosaur in the middle of the paper. Right over here, right? Good job. There is a clock below the dinosaur. There is a clock below the dinosaur. Did you draw a clock right over here? If you did a good job. The next one. There are 3 books next to the dinosaur on the left below the phone. There are 3 books next to the dinosaur on the left below the phone. And here we go. There are 3 books next to the dinosaur. Which side? On the left. Where? Below the phone. Now, there is a briefcase to the top right of the dinosaur. Once again, there is a briefcase to the top right of the dinosaur. And it should be right over here somewhere. Did you get this? If you did a very good job. Next one. There is a spider web next to the dinosaur to the right above the pencil. There is a spider web next to the dinosaur on the right above the pencil, which will be somewhere around here. That is a spider web or just a web. Now, there is a small whale between the books and the clock. There is a small whale between the books and the clock. Now, you should have drawn a small whale right over here. I hope everybody got this one. Good. The next one will be, there is a ladybug on the web. There is a ladybug on the web. Right over here. That's a ladybug. It could be anywhere on the web. It just have to touch the web. The ladybug should touch the web because I said there is a ladybug on the web. And the last one is, there is a policeman next to the phone to the right. There is a policeman next to the phone to the right. And you should draw him or her, a policeman, right over here. Okay? That was easy, right? So listening is not that difficult. Now, there are many other ways to indicate a location of an item. This time we're going to show you how to express the location on a surface area. Let's say there's a surface area like this. Let's say this is a paper or a monitor screen or a piece of wall. It doesn't matter. It's just a surface area which is flat. Now, we could divide this square into 9 pieces. For example, at the middle, we call it a middle. That's easy, right? Now, right above that, we call that top middle. Be cautious. We don't say middle top. We say top middle. The meaning is the same, but for some reason, top middle is more used. Now, if it's on the left side, we say top left, and on the right side, top right. Now, let's go back to the middle, and below, we say bottom middle. On the left, bottom left. On the right, bottom right. Now, go back to the middle, and on the left side, we say middle left, and the right side will be middle right. So you could imagine a square and you could divide it into 9 pieces like this, and each place has a name. Top left, top middle, top right, middle left, middle, middle right, bottom left, bottom middle, bottom right. Okay? Now, let's say you have a piece of paper like this or a screen. It doesn't matter. It's a square. Now, there is a clock in the middle. Now, if I say in the middle of where? In the middle of the earth, in the middle of the classroom, in the middle of the screen, in the middle of the piece of paper, you have to say something behind, at the back of, or the middle of. So, there is a clock in the middle of the paper. Now, if there is a whale over there, you could say there is a whale above the clock, right? But you could also say there is a whale on the top middle of the paper. So there are 2 ways to express the location of a whale. You could base on the clock or you could base on the paper. There is a whale above the clock or there is a whale on the top middle of the paper. If there is a briefcase over here, you could say there is a briefcase next to the whale on the left. Or you could say there is a briefcase on the top left of the paper. With the same concept, if there is a policeman over there, you could say there is a policeman on the top right of the paper. And if there is a spider web over there, you could say there is a spider web on the bottom left of the paper. Let's draw some books over here. You could say there are 3 books below the clock, of course. You could say there are 3 books next to the web on the right. Or you could say there are 3 books on the bottom middle of the paper. Now let's draw a dinosaur over here, and you could say there is a dinosaur on the bottom right of the paper. Now let's draw a ladybug above the dinosaur, and you could also say there is a ladybug on the middle right of the paper. And the last one will be a telephone over here. There is a telephone on the middle left of the paper. There is a telephone above the web. There is a telephone below the briefcase. So there are many ways to describe a location of an item. Good. Let's do one more. Let's say there is a web and a policeman is caught on the web right over here. You could say there is a policeman on the top right of the web. And if there is a briefcase over here, you could say there is a briefcase on the top left of the web. And a clock, there is a clock on the bottom right of the web. And there's a dinosaur on the bottom right of the web. So on the top right, top left, bottom right, bottom left. You could use this when you imagine a square around the web. Now, let's combine these together. If there is a clock over here and there is a whale, you could say there is a whale above the clock, right? There is a ladybug next to the clock on the right. There is a phone next to the clock on the left, and there are 3 books below the clock. So this is easy. Now, what if there is a clock in the middle and there is a policeman over here? So it is to the right side, right? But it is a little above. It's not next to, it's not above. It's like a triangle to the right. What can you say? You could say there is a policeman to the top right of the clock. There is a policeman to the top right of the clock. Let's do one more. Let's say there is a briefcase right over here. Now, point your finger at the clock and move top up to the top and go left. And there is a briefcase. So you could say there is a briefcase to the top left of the clock. Okay, let's draw a dinosaur over here. Now, the dinosaur is below, right? And on the right side. But on a surface area, you could say, it's better to say below, no, bottom instead of below. So, bottom right. So, there is a dinosaur to the bottom right of the clock. Now, the last one, there is a web over here. Same concept. Is put your finger on the clock, go down, and go left, and there is a web. So there is a web to the bottom right of the clock. Easy. I hope. 어떠셨습니까? 영어 듣기 그렇게 어렵지는 않지요. Especially when you use visual aid, it's much helpful. 그림을 같이 보면서 듣게 되면은 최소한 이런 말을 하는구나 유추는 할 수가 있습니다. 같은 수업을 주입식 교육 방법으로 했을 경우 뭐뭐가 있다를 영어로 할 때는 there is a 단수명사, 복수일 때는 there are 복수명사 사용한다. 그리고 위치를 나타내는 전치사 뒤에는 명사 앞에 더가 사용하는 경우가 많다. 더불어 top, middle, bottom 세 개로 나눈 다음에 left, right, middle 그래서 어떤 상자, 어떤 네모난 것을 구등분 해가지고 각각 표시할 수 있다는 것을 알려줄 수가 있습니다. 이것은 surface area, 어떤 평면으로 봤을 때 사용되는 전치사들이다. 또는 어떤 물건이 대각선에 있을 때 옆이라든지 위도 아닌 대각선으로 있을 때는 top left, top right 또는 bottom left, bottom right 이렇게 사용할 수 있다라고 선생님이 설명하고 학생들은 이해하는 겁니다. 이것은 recognition, 보면은 알 수 있는 recognition을 강화하는 거지 습득, 자기가 말로서 하고 싶을 때 나오는 것은 아닙니다. 그래서 언어 교육에 있어서는 주입식 교육을 그다지 선호하지는 않습니다. 필요는 합니다. 그러나 그 외에 한 발짝 더 나가서 꼭 해야 되는 게 있지요. 제가 동영상에서 많이 강조하는 거죠. input, 입력이 있어야 되는 거고 storage, 저장을 해야 되겠죠. 그 정보를. 그 다음에 retrieval, 출력을 할 수 있어야 됩니다. 주입식 교육을 할 수 있는 것은 입력과 저장 뿐입니다. 그러나 영어를 습득, 말을 하기 위해서는 그 저장한 것을 끄집어낼 수 있어야 진정한 언어를 습득한다고 제가 많이 강조했습니다. 끄집어낼 수 있는 능력, 그것을 갖추기 위해서는 영어로 말을 하기 위해서는 뇌가 활성화해야 된다. 왜? 어떤 것을 저장하는 뇌와 그것을 저장된 것을 끄집어낸 뇌는 분리되어 있습니다. 사실 분리되는 건 아닌데 작동이 달라요. 작동하기 그 시퀀스가 다르거든요. 히포캠퍼스란 깊게는 안 들어가겠는데 영어로 말을 하기 위해서는 뇌가 발달돼요. 어떤 부분의 뇌가 발달이 돼야 되는 겁니다. 그렇게 영어를 말하는 연습을 많이 하면은 듣기는 저절로 따라온다는 것 한 번 더 강조드립니다. 그럼 영어 말하기 뇌 활성화 연습 하나 준비했습니다. 이 그림을 보시고 자신이 하고 싶은 말을 만들어서 오늘 배운 걸 사용해도 되고 또는 그 전에 있는 지식을 사용해도 되겠습니다. 위치 전치사를 사용해 가지고 예를 들어 가지고 저기 다이아몬드가 있죠. 그러면 there is a diamond above the trash can next to the paper airplane 이렇게 하셔도 되고요. There is a diamond to the top right of the flower 또는 there is a diamond to the on the top right of the paper. 이렇게 말을 하는 데는 어떤 정답이 없는 거죠. 어떤 것을 기준으로서 내가 위치를 얘기하는 거에 대해서 말이 달라지기 때문에 여러분들이 이 9개의 물건들을 편안하게 자기가 하고 싶은 말을 만들어 하는 것. 그것이 뇌 활성화, 저장되어 있던 것을 끄집어내는 뇌 부분을 활성화시킨다는 거 다시 한번 강조드리며 연습 많이 부탁드리겠습니다. As always, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. 어제보다 나은 오늘